Hey everybody, welcome back to creating scenery for Microsoft Flight Simulator. We continue on our Fairfield Inn. I know this is a long series, but I'm making this model and I'm just filming it as we go. So I don't know how many episodes it'll take, but anyway, that's what we're doing. Okay, so we did some preliminary texturing just to give us some idea of context of what the building looks like, right? Okay, now we're going to go around back and we're going to add in some of the annexes on the back of the building. So we need to look at a prototype, and that's not it. This is the wrong program. I started my GIS software. Sorry. Okay, so let's go to some photos and let's bring up Google Earth. All right, so we're going to be adding in this extension and this annex and this annex. All right, I believe that this is probably the dining room, I think. And then this is kind of a lounge area, I believe. Let's take a look. So right off the bat, we can get some measurements. So if I go path, this corner to this outside corner, I think that's bigger than that. Let's go to our GIS site for Franklin County, and let's do a measure here instead. And we're going to go from this edge of the building right here. It's probably in a little bit because of the angle of the photo. And we're looking at 12 feet, all right? And then 12 feet out is the farthest. If I measure this little piece right here, we're probably talking 2.5. And then we are going to go from this wall to that corner, which is 42.5. All right, so we're going to go 42.5. And let's see if it's 2.5, so that's going to be 9.5 feet is the width of this. All right, so let's get into Blender and find a starting point. All right, so we are going to select the wall, go into tab, turn on vertice, select this corner vertice right here, and we're going to Shift S, move our cursor to that location. All right, and then get out of edit mode. Now, we're going to kind of do what we did with the perimeter, except I don't have to go the back wall. All right, so we're going to come out 9.5 feet, and that is in the Y direction, and it's going to be in the positive direction. So we are going to Shift A and add a mesh, single point vert, add single vert, and I get this vertice over here. Sorry, I can't see what I'm doing. There we go. We get this object right here, so we're just going to go ahead and call this, let's call it lounge for now. All right, we'll just call it lounge for now. I think I spelled it right. I don't know. Anyway. All right, so in edit mode with vertex on, we're going to extrude that in the Y 9.5 feet. And let's double check our prototype. Which one do I want? Oh, I want the website, the county website. Yeah, and it's a little further away. Whoops. Sorry about that. It's not right to the corner, so we're good. All right. Now we're going to go 42.5 this way. So we're going to extrude in the X positive 42.5. Now, I have a feeling that it's probably going to line up with this corner, but I'm not really sure. So let me check again, see if we can see for sure. I don't know. It kind of overshoots a little bit, doesn't it? All right, see if we can find another picture. Well, we really can't tell there, but it almost looks like it lines up with that corner. Let me double check that real quick. Let's go back to Franklin County GIS. No, because if I extend this out, it overshoots. All right, I think we're good. All right, then we are going to come back this way in the Y. We're going to EY 2.5. Okay. Then we need the width, right? So let's go back to Franklin County GIS site and measure this right here. I'm going to start from this way, or this little white box that follows it around will cover up my measurement. We're looking at 26 feet. I'm going to call it 26 feet. All right, so we're going to extrude X 26 feet. And then we can just basically extrude that right back to this. So make sure I have edge snap on and extrude Y, snap to this, bam, right there. Okay. Now let's get a height, and we need Google Earth for that. So, like I said, standard size door is 7 feet tall. So I'm thinking that's probably going to looks about between 9 and 10 feet to me, in my opinion. But who am I? All right, so we're going to click at the bottom, click at the top, 9 feet. I think 9 feet is safe to say. So what I can do is I can select. Now, one of these edges, this first edge, we don't really need because it's up against this wall here. So we can delete that edge. All right, so we're making our model smaller, which is fine. I mean, our object's smaller in terms of vertice count and stuff. Let us, I might have to create these back lines so I can create a roof outline, which is not bad, which is okay. We can do that. So let's select this vertex in this corner and extrude that until it's in the X until it snaps to that wall. Okay. And then we're going to move it out to here. So we're going to extrude it to in the Y to here. And then we're going to extrude it. Well, I shouldn't have deleted that vertex. I shouldn't have deleted that edge to begin with. All right, so I'm only doing this for the roof, right? Okay, so we're going to fill that in with F. I selected both of those vertices and hit F. Now I got an edge. Now let's select all of our edges, and let's do an F to fill that. And then we are going to check our face orientation. We're good. It's blue. And we are going to select this face. We're going to extrude it. And by default, it's always in the Z. So extrude, well, it's in the Z because this is oriented toward the Z. All right, we're going to extrude that 9 feet. Okay. Now, that's one of the annexes of the building. And let's do some final kind of checkup and see how that looks. So I'm going to go back to Google Earth. Looks like it's closer to the bottom of the windows, and that's what I thought. Like right over here, it's right at the bottom of the windows. Okay, so I'm not sure that 9 feet was correct. I didn't think it was. All right, so what we can do is we can simply, with these vertices already selected, we can GZ and snap those up to right below the window. Now, is this correct? Let's take a look at Google Earth. And see, I'm kind of torn because it doesn't look like it's that tall because there's a gap between the here. So let's move that down a foot. Okay, so with those selected, GZ -1, and I think that looks much better, in my opinion. Okay, so that's one annexation, and we'll do some details to it after we finish the other one. All right, so let's come over here and get out of edit mode, select our walls, go back into edit mode, and select this vertice, Shift S, move our cursor to that location. And let's go back into the GIS site. And so it looks like you got the door canopy between this tower and this building, right? And if I believe this wall right here, or this edge of the canopy, is even with this wall. So let's double check that by looking at Google Earth, which isn't the best source in the world, but it's what we have, and it's free. We like that, don't we? All right, so the canopy's just a little bit, you know, it comes along this wall here. It kind of makes a small little jog and then comes out. All right, and that is, I'm going to get a terrible width, so I'm going to go back to the GIS site, and we are going to measure this width, and I'm going to say that this extends past this wall 1 foot. You know, I can pretty much do what I want, right? As long as it looks okay. All right, so we're going to come up here to this line, and we're going to come over here, and we are going to make the canopy 12 feet wide. And it sticks out I'm going to call it 13 feet. All right, so it's 12 wide, 13 deep. All right, so let's get out of edit mode, and we are going to Shift A. Well, no, we're going to Shift, dang it. We're going to Shift A, try again, Mesh, single vertice, add. All right, and this object we're going to call, let's call it dining room. We'll connect the entranceway with the dining room just because we can. All right, now I'm going to take this, and I'm going to take this vertex right here. That's one thing that it's a pet peeve of mine. I watch a lot of videos and stuff, and if you do videos, please don't do this. Using pronouns like, we're going to move this, we're going to move it over to that, and we're going to do this, and you got to click this, and you get, tell them what they're supposed to be doing. I don't know. That's just a pet peeve. Anyway, I don't like it, people doing it to me, so I don't want to do it to you. All right, so we got this vertice selected, and we're going to extrude that in the Y direction till it snaps to this corner right here. Then we're going to extrude it to the left, which I believe is the positive X. So extrude X 1 foot. All right. Then we're going to extrude that in the Y 13 feet. Then we're going to extrude that in the X in the negative 12 feet. Okay, then we can take this all the way back to the wall, and then we can build our dining room off of this. All right, so let's extrude this vertice. I caught myself. Extrude in the Y until it snaps here. Then we can select those two vertices there and hit F to join those with a edge. Okay, now we're ready for the dining room. We're just going to add the dining room to this particular model because that's what we called it. So let's bring up that Franklin County Geographic Information System site. And let's go to the measure tool and measure from this corner all the way to this corner. And we get 45.5. All right. And it protrudes from our canopy by approximately, I'm going to call it 5.5 feet. Okay, so we're going to start at this point where this vertice is. We're going to extrude this vertice in the Y 5.5 feet. And what did I say that measurement was? Yeah, that's the problem with my brain. I never remember. 45.5. So we'll extrude this in the X, extrude X minus 45.5. And then, which almost lines up, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what it looks like in our Google Earth. There's a little bit of gap between this window and that wall. So yeah, it's looking relatively okay. So let's extrude that to the Y until it snaps here. Then we can select this vertice and fill those in with the F. So now we have the line work for our dining room annexation. So let's, now we need to close those in. Fill those in with a polygon with a face, but you have to do them individually. So here's the first set of edges around that. So we'll do that and hit F, and then we can choose this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, and hit F to fill those in, just like that. Now let's get a height. Let's go to Google Earth and get a height. Now this one does look a little bit taller than this one, okay? Because there's barely a gap underneath those AC units. All right, so let's do a 3D path and let's figure out what that looks like. So they're saying almost 12 feet tall, probably 11.5. But I'm gonna take that up just below the window. All right, so we're going to select the dining room face, and we're going to extrude that up to right there. Now my dining room goes into my building. It's not what I wanted to do. Sorry. Control Z. I have this. Oh, I forgot that. No. Oh, because this juts out. That's why. We can take care of that later. So let's go ahead and extrude that up to this point. Just like that. It'll work. All right. Now, let's, and see those doors, that window that was there, that's 6 feet wide, that is probably a 6-foot opening doorway into the hotel, which is kind of cool how that lines up just right. Okay. And let's take a look at that canopy. And that canopy looks like it's, whoops, I don't want to go that far. You get that distortion here. Wonder if it shows up in the photo. Let's see if we have see if it shows up in that photo. Oh, this is the wrong side. This is the lounge side. I don't think they have. I don't think they have the. They have the interior of the dining room. Ah, there it is. That's perfect. This is that canopy. Here's the lounge, and that looks like siding on the side of the building, kind of like a wood clap. So we'll have to remember that when we do our texturing on this. All right, so it looks like it's probably 1.5 feet thick, and it looks like it's about 1.5 feet below the dining room. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to separate these two pieces. So I'm going to separate this. So I'm going to hit that face, hit P, selection, and we're going to call this rear entrance. Except I spell a lot different than everybody else. Rear entrance, okay? Now what we can do is get out of edit mode, select our rear entrance, and we are simply going to G Z 7 feet. Let's go 8 feet. Because the top of the door is 7. All right, now let's go into edit mode, select that face, extrude it 1.5. So we can go higher. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit A to select all, turn edge on, shift, click this edge, and we are going to move that up till it matches the top of our dining room, GZ, snap that up, and then drop it 1.5 feet. So GZ minus 1.5. So in that photo, we are sitting something like this, right? And if I bring up the photo, it kind of looks like it does, doesn't it? Okay. Kind of, sort of. May not be 100% perfectly corrected or whatever, but I think it looks fine. Okay. So we're getting there. All right. So let's minimize our prototype photo. So we have our dining room and we have our canopy. Obviously there's a stone pillar that's sitting right here. I wonder if I can get that off of the image from their GIS site. Let's see. I think I kinda, sorta. Oh, it's gonna go away when I zoom in. Let's clear our measurements. I can kinda see it. All right, so we are talking 3'4", so that's 40 inches by 3 foot. Say 3.5 by 3, which makes sense to me. Let's take a look at our photo. Sorry. And it looks like we're set back probably a foot. I'm guessing. All right. So we can create, let's do this. We are going to get at it. No, I want to stay in edit mode, and I'm going to choose this vertex here, Shift S, cursor to selected. Okay. And I am going to get out of edit mode. I'm going to Shift A. We're going to add a cube. And we're going to change the size of the cube in the X direction to be 3 foot. And we're going to change the Y to 3.5. And that doesn't look anything like it, does it? I think I measured in the wrong spot. So let's go back to our GIS site. And let's clear our measurements. Let me do a measure. Ah, 2 foot. 2 foot. Yeah, okay. So let's try that. So let's go in the X. Let's go 2 feet. Okay. Now the middle of this is being bisected by our roof. All right, so that's half of the 3.5, which is 1 3/4. All right, so we're going to move this 1 3/4 back to get it to line up with this edge, and then a foot. So let's move that in the Y, GY minus 2.75. Okay, and then we are going to move it in the X a little bit more than half of the 1 foot. So we're going to GX, and let's go 1.5, whoops, wrong direction. GX minus 1.5. And that kind of looks like it. Let's look at our photo. Kind of, sort of. It may not be that. It may not be 2 feet wide. It might be 1.5 feet, which is fine. I'll show you what we'll do with that. I don't know. That may look right. I don't know. You guys decide. All right. So let's go into edit mode, turn ghost mode on, select these bottom vertices, and let's drop those down to even with the ground. So GZ to here. All right. And how high is it? Not really sure. And Google's not going to give me a good... It's not too high there. Let's look at the real photo. Okay, so we're going to kind of guess on that. So we are going to move these up. Well, let's just go to the top of the dining room. Get out of edit mode. I think that's going to be fine for what we're doing. Okay, so we have the basic shapes of our annexes, and in the next video we will cut doors and windows into those. So you guys have a great day, and if you would, subscribe or not. But if you feel inclined, buymeacoffee.com/myphysicalworld. We will see you guys later.